I am Batman. You are Batman. Everyone on TikTok is apparently Batman. He is literally me character. Batman Arkham Knight begins with you cremating the Joker. Like, seriously, you just watch him burn to ashes with his big ass smile, staying with him the whole way through. Damn. But you already know the Joker is almost always the character that keeps the audience glued to the screen. I seriously just rewatch The Dark Knight every now and again just to see Heath Ledger's amazing performance.
Joker, why don't you subscribe to the Pumperum YouTube channel?
Because, Batman, I actually don't know. I should subscribe to the Pumperum YouTube channel right now.
Yes, you should, Joker.
This is why it comes as no surprise that Joker's infected blood has infected other people, turning them into variations of the Joker. On top of this, Batman is hallucinating the Joker, having him follow the Bat around everywhere he goes, tormenting him along the way. This isn't it though. There's a plethora of other villains Batman is tasked with taking down. Every Gotham citizen has evacuated. Only the thugs, criminals, and militia hunting down Batman remain. Yeah, a trained militia, one sent by someone known only as the Arkham Knight. He knows a lot about Batman, too much. Weaknesses only Batman should know about his armor, among other things. He is working with Scarecrow to make a toxin that is really fucked up and will destroy anyone who is exposed to it mentally, making them see visions of themselves playing League of Legends for 10 minutes. Truly the most pure form of mental torture. Today I will be going over some of the villains I found most interesting, as well as going over the main plot of the game, with some thoughts of how the game controls and functions sprinkled in. But I have one more exciting thing to announce before we get into the juiciness. I am giving away 2 LEGO Batman games. LEGO Batman 1 and LEGO Batman 2. If you would like to enter, all you need to do is subscribe to the Pumperum YouTube channel, like this video, and comment anything you want. No bullshit either. Here are the games in my Steam inventory ready to be deployed directly into your grubby little middies. You will need a Steam account with the ability to receive gifts, just to be clear, and I'll be leaving a pinned comment in about a week with who the winners are. Also, join my Discord server. It would be pretty cool to meet some of you guys and hang out. The link will be in the description. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into Gotham's greatest.
Harvey might feel bad about this Batman, but we'll bring him round.
Two-Face is a villain who really likes to rob banks. He is described in-game as such. District Attorney Harvey Dent was one of Batman's strongest allies in Gotham City, until Carmine Falcone threw acid in Dent's face and hideously scarred him. The wounds fractured Dent's psyche, and he was reborn as Two-Face, a schizoid criminal mastermind, obsessed with duality. His missions are very simple in nature. A bunch of his thugs are robbing a bank and you need to stop them by beating the shit out of them. You need to be sneaky though, as all of these thugs have guns that really hurt. After only a few of these missions, Two-Face gets angry enough to try and come and take care of the Batman himself. He obviously fails, as Batman is the ultimate cool guy, but to be fair, the last mission is pretty hard, or at least it was for me. I honestly wish they did more with Two-Face. I mean, the most I got to see of this guy was quotes from death screens. Perhaps they could have done a rooftop chase or some kind of multiple choice, like having to choose between saving a bank or capturing Two-Face. Don't worry though guys, the next villain is a lot more interesting.
Right? I'm the self-proclaimed rizzler. So what does that mean? That means that when it comes to talking to girls, I know what I'm doing at all times, and I know exactly the right things to say at the right moments. So today what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to teach you how the mind of the Rizzler fucking works, so that today you guys can learn how to properly get females at like a 100% ratio. You're going to see.
Because if you pretend to be blind, then you can like go up to her and never mind.
Doanel Dantes, the man behind the mask.
So why did the farmer have no one laugh at his joke? Because it was too corny.
The Rizzler. He has captured Catwoman in some sick ploy to lure Batman into playing his crazy kooky games, putting an explosive collar with 10 locks on her. A good majority of these wacky games include the Batmobile. The Batmobile is a huge part of this game. When it was introduced, I just thought it would be some optional tool used to get from point A to point B. However, it quickly proved itself to be much more than that. While driving, you can enter battle mode, which turns this high-speed tank into a more controllable weapon of mass destruction. Literally controlling like this remote control helicopter thing I had when I was about 8. Anyways, the Rizzler tells us that we must complete various tasks for him in these underground labyrinths in order to unlock the 10 locks on Catwoman's explosive neck thing. He goes on and on about how much smarter he is than you because of his League of Legends experience. It's really crazy to see Dantes from Bully as an adult here. On your first trial, the Rizzler lists off rules that I actually initially listened to, but after rule 10 I just said fuck it and started the goofy test of wits. These missions are honestly not that difficult. Aside from the racetrack ones near the end, honestly it was a nice little series of missions with really cool dialogue. What pisses me off though is at the very end when Catwoman and Batman are finally face to face with the Rizzler, ready to beat the shit out of him, he totally pussies out, telling you that you need to collect all 243 Riddler trophies scattered across Gotham in order for him to fight you for realsies. Suffice to say, I ain't doing all that. Dantes' little quizzes were lots of fun despite their aforementioned lack of difficulty, sometimes turning me into the thinker. You're able to briefly play as Catwoman in short combat sections, and this was also a lot of fun. Overall, Dantes has some of the better missions in the game, even being able to captivate me enough to have me choose doing it over the main mission for a while.
Oh, don't be so sad, Batman. Gotham's in good hands now. I'll take real good care of it.
Knock knock. Who's there? It's the Bat! Step on it! I think we lost him. Let's go to our main base of operations like a bunch of dumb idiots. Boom! Pew, pew, pew. Boom! So that's basically how the Penguin missions go. The Penguin is selling weapons to the criminals of Gotham, so it's up to you and Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing, to get rid of these weapon caches by just blowing them up. In these missions you can play as Nightwing, just like Catwoman, and he has these super badass awesome glow sticks that are really satisfying to listen to. More about the Penguin though, throughout the game there are multiple mentions of his accent perhaps being fake, which I thought was funny. But he really doesn't get all that much screen time, just like Two-Face and his bank robberies. However, we do get some Penguin at the end of the quest line, when he kidnaps Nightwing. You rescue Nightwing and take the Penguin down, throwing him in jail with the rest of the crooks. The thugs that work for Penguin are actually happy to see him again in jail, which is kind of funny considering Penguin being thrown in the can means none of them are getting out, but you know, it's the thought that counts. Alright, that's enough of talking about these low-level criminals. It's time for the main quest of the game, the real meat and beef and stuff of the Arkham Knight. There are plenty more criminals for you to meet in Gotham too, by the way, so I encourage you to play this game in order to face them all. But let's get into the end of the Batman. Joker, the Arkham Knight guy I mentioned earlier, and Scarecrow are all part of a plot for the end of Batman. At the end of the previous Batman game, Batman got some of Joker's infected blood in him or something like that, so he begins having hallucinations of the Joker. You get a bunch of these Joker moments throughout the game, and there were a few Joker interactions that actually managed to make me laugh, which is pretty cool. Anyways, Scarecrow has made this super powerful fear gas bomb that is going to take over Gotham, and this fear gas is furthering Bruce's hallucinations of the Joker, having the Joker almost take control of the Batman. That's right, a little more of this fear gas and Batman's body and everything he owns would be the Joker's. I'll admit, it's a little confusing. Like, why does the fear gas help the Joker's infected blood that's inside Batman? Is it because Batman's biggest fear just so happens to be the Joker taking over his body and doing horrible things to his friends and family? I'm not exactly sure, but let's just roll with that. My point is, this Joker problem isn't just hallucinations, it's an actual threat to Batman, and it only gets worse because remember, there are two more criminals working together to take down the Bat, and one of them knows way too much. An unknown man is able to single-handedly hire and train an entire militia specifically to beat Batman, and some weird knowledge about Batman that no one would really know, like weak points on his armor so his militia can shoot him and have it actually be lethal. He proves just how dangerous he is when he gets this giant-ass drill thingy-mabobber and chases you through a tunnel system, eventually destroying the Batmobile. That's right, Batman's tank RC car just gets fucking yeah! Of course though, the game has come to rely on the Batmobile so so much that it does the equivalent to holding Q and Gary's mod, going to vehicles, and spawning in a new Batmobile. Except this time it's white and even better than the last one. This honestly felt a little shoehorned in, like the game was just looking for an excuse to upgrade your car. What I think could have been done differently is maybe leaving Batman without a Batmobile for a little bit. You can actually get place to place without the Batmobile completely fine, and I honestly chose to not use it on multiple occasions, just because it was so fun to just zip and glide around Gotham. This way, players who haven't traveled without the Batmobile up to this point can experience the funness of gliding around. And they could make a mission where a new Batmobile was developed and created, having some villain try and take it before Batman can even get to it, having a chase sequence commence or something like that. Then after you reoccur the Batmobile, you get to customize it how you want it. Because I mean, if the Batmobile can be white, then it can be purple or orange too. The whiteness of the Batmobile is its own problem, because I distinctly remember Batman from the Lego movie saying he only uses blacks and very, very, very dark shades of gray in his builds. Anyways, moving on with the main plot, Scarecrow eventually releases his toxin onto Gotham, completely shrouding it, making it look like it was farted on by Yo Mama. Batman has to work with Poison Ivy to grow these giant ass trees that can stop the gas, eventually leading to Ivy's death. It was honestly pretty cool seeing Batman work with a villain in order to save Gotham. Scarecrow has kidnapped the kid named Finger's daughter. Yeah, Commissioner Gordon is voiced by Mike Breaking Bad, and to make things worse, Batman locks up Robin when he realizes that Batman is also infected with the Joker's blood. So wouldn't you know it, he also kidnaps Robin and uses him and the Commissioner's daughter as blackmail, leading to Mike shooting Batman in an attempt to save his daughter, and Batman being given an ultimatum. Either he takes off his masks or his friends will die and suffer. So in an intense moment, Batman does actually take off his mask in front of the world. There's a crazy moment where Scarecrow injects Batman with more of the fear gas. Scarecrow gets confused at how not scared Batman is, who is now the Joker, but still looks like the Batman to everyone else. So Scarecrow just keeps pumping Bat Joker full of fear gas, thinking that Batman watched one too many stoic TikToks and just isn't being affected by the gas's fear effect. However, now that Batman is the Joker, the fear gas starts making the Joker hallucinate his biggest fear, which is being locked away and forgotten forever. This leads to Batman being able to pull through back into his own body, defeating Scarecrow once and for all. Alright, now we just have to wrap up Arkham Knight's story arc. He's Jason Todd, the old Robin who Batman thought was killed by the Joker, and thus didn't try to rescue him. This is how he knew all Batman's weaknesses. Jason was tortured by the Joker immensely, and he grew very bitter over time, leading to him wanting Batman dead. At the end of the game, he changes his mind, saving Batman's life. Batman Arkham Knight is a very fun game. There are a few problems though, like the combat. For some reason, the combat combos never really stuck with me, and I think the devs thought so too, as whenever you need to use a certain move, the game will tell you what buttons you need to press when the time is convenient. In God of War, I was able to remember all the combos you could do, mostly because they're named things like Butthole Eater Tornado. And in that game, the hack and slash gameplay was just way more well done in my opinion. In Arkham Knight, you basically just spam square to win every fight, with very few exceptions. The puzzles in this game were also a little disappointing. I like the more detective aspect of Batman that was portrayed in this game, but almost all of the puzzles in this game were incredibly simple. With that being said, the game is still a blast to play. It definitely gets carried by its characters and atmosphere, but that's kind of expected from a game about Batman. Gliding around is lots of fun. Using the Batmobile is awesome, especially after you get comfortable with how it controls, which makes using it feel really rewarding. The Batmobile combat, while incredibly simple, was done really well. So what's my final verdict? Well, I think Batman Arkham Knight is a pretty good game. There were things I didn't like and things I liked a lot. I would honestly recommend this game to anyone who's a fan of Batman, because those IGN MFs were not lying when they said it makes you feel like Batman. The game has a lot of ideas that could have been more fleshed out, like the upgrade tree, which pretty much only offered upgrades that didn't really affect gameplay at all that much, having its most useful upgrade be the increase in armor resistance. The game is definitely lots of fun, but the actual gameplay is lacking in a lot of aspects. So I give the game my first ever Pumpa score of 7 out of 10. Alright, if you've made it this far, you're lying. I guarantee no one is listening to me right now, so poo poo pee fart come shit. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day.